The film starts in a Thailand household where Mai is making breakfast for her daughter Pim and her son Put. Put has some genetic defect in his left leg and he hates school. While driving her kids to school, Mai tells them about her big promotion. She's a single mom raising 2 kids, and she wants to make them happy. But her boss tells her at the office that she will have to stay late tonight for a meeting. Meanwhile, her daughter Pim is practicing with her cheerleader band. She's extremely talented, and her instructor wants her to stay the cheerleading captain for another year. Pim even has the full support of her best friend Pao, who nominates Pim for the team captain role. Pim comes home that day to find Put playing games with the school bully Fame. Fame is a creepy guy who follows Pim up the stairs and peeps through the open door while she's changing. Pim freaks out after seeing him and shuts the door, smashing Fame's foot. When Fame comes down the stairs complaining about his foot, he shows Put a scandalous clip. He threatens to make the clip go viral if Put doesn't arrange Fame's date with Pim. Pim tells her mother about the whole ordeal, and Mai is obviously worried about her daughter's safety. When her meeting ends, she leaves for home, but it's pouring outside. She's checking her phone from time to time, and all of a sudden, a car coming from the opposite side slams into her SUV. Pim and Put are told about the accident by Mai's father, Fong, and the kids are meeting him for the first time. He takes them to the hospital, and they visit Mai. They also meet their grandma, Wan, in the hospital, but there is something wrong with her. Fong tells the kids that they will have to stay with him as long as their mother is in the hospital. They all go back to Fong's home, and the siblings sleep in their mother's old bedroom. The next morning, Fong tells them something unsettling at breakfast. He claims that Wan has dementia, and she often behaves erratically, so the kids shouldn't be afraid of her strange behavior. That afternoon, Fong takes them to the hospital where the doctor says that Mai is in a coma, and they don't know when she will wake up, so they bring all of their stuff to their new home, including their cat. This is when Put notices a small hole in the wall. He looks through the hole to see a room with a creepy-looking girl. He's freaked out, but forgets about it pretty soon. That evening, the kids are looking for their cat, but Wan says she left the cat. This makes Put mad, and to reduce the tension, Pim mentions the hole to her grandpa, who goes to check it out, but he can't see it. The siblings still see it, but Fong thinks they are lying, and it's making him angry. That night, Put wonders why Fong couldn't see the hole. The next morning at breakfast, Wan asks Put to drink a whole jug of milk, saying that he needs it for his bones. The siblings are finally going back to school, and on his first day, Put is getting picked on by Fame, who is again blackmailing Put by showing him the clip. Pim sees Fame bullying her brother, so she asks him to stop it. Fame really wants her to go on a date with him, but Pim has no interest in him. She's worried more about her mother, and during her visit, she tells her mother about how their lives have been. Back at home, Fame is eagerly waiting for Pim's return. Out of nowhere, Put starts hearing a strange noise coming from the hole in the wall. Fame, on the other hand, can't hear anything, and he can't even see the hole. Still, Put looks through it to see that strange girl again. He's badly shook, so Fame puts his head close to the wall to find the hole, but something pushes him into the wall. Blood starts pouring from Fame's nose, and he thinks Put pushed him. They're both arguing when Pim shows up. Fame threatens to ruin her life before grabbing his bag to leave, but forgets to pick up his phone on the couch. Pim asks Put why he hangs out with Fame, so Put confesses that Fame has a clip of her in which she is taking a shower in the school bathroom. Pim is horrified after hearing this, and she is trying her best to clean all the blood from the floor. This is when Wan shows up and freaks out after seeing the blood. She believes that Put is Mai's dead husband, Crit. Pim helps Wan calm down and then takes her upstairs to her room. Things get even weirder as the siblings hear screams in the middle of the night. They go down to see Wan crawling on the floor while screaming like a mad woman. However, the next morning, she is acting completely normal while serving breakfast. She is still forcing Put to drink milk even though he doesn't like it. Their grandpa is not home because he's meeting his old colleague in the police department. Fong used to be a decorated police captain, and he is using his relations to find the whereabouts of the guy who rammed his car into Mai's SUV. The guy named Shayet is the son of a rich industrialist, and Fong holds him responsible, even though Shayet's friend confessed to being the one driving the car that night. Back at home, Pim is hanging out with Put in the living room when she finds Fame's phone on the couch. She decides to look through it, but suddenly hears sounds coming from the hole in the wall. Pim looks through it, and she can see an injured girl crawling on the floor. She wants to go help her, but Put isn't so keen on that because when he looks through the hole, he sees that the girl is dead. They think that the girl is actually a ghost, so they decide not to look through that hole ever again. That night, Pim finally finds her video on Fong's phone, and she feels really bad. Putt, on the other hand, is sleeping when he wakes up in the middle of the night to see the creepy girl sitting on Pim's bed. He tries to hide under the sheet, but the girl is moving towards him, so he starts screaming. Pim wakes up and tries to calm him down, but Putt is adamant that someone is in the room. The next day, Pim wakes up to find Putt covered in his own blood. He is clearly sick, so she tells her grandparents about it before leaving for school. However, Fong isn't home. Instead, he is looking after Mai. He's upset because Shayut was released by the court, and Fong feels sad and angry at the same time. He tells Mai that he will make Shayut pay for what he did to her. That afternoon, Pim finds out that she was going to be the next team captain. Her friend Pao congratulates her, but Pim says she knows that Pao was the one who recorded Pim in the shower and sent the video to fame. Apparently, Pao was jealous of Pim's popularity and wanted to ruin her reputation. Pim has already informed the teacher, and Pao's plan is stalled before things get worse. Back at home, Juan is still making Putt drink milk. She finds this creepy drawing in his notebook and gets mad for no real reason. However, the painting disappears when Putt tries to see it, and his milk jug is also destroyed by the cat, who drinks the milk from the floor. Pim returns home that evening to see that Putt is still coughing up blood, so she calls Fong, who is stalking Shayut at the party. At home, Pim and Putt can still hear sounds from that hole in the wall. This time, Pim looks through it and sees a young man asleep on the couch next to the girl, who's dying on the floor. She wants to help the girl, but Putt says that the girl is most probably dead, and the hole is a wormhole that shows images from a different period. His suspicions are based on the fact that the room on the other side looks exactly like their own living room. They're still discussing it when Fong returns. They try to ask about the hole, but he can't see it, so he covers the space with a cupboard. After everyone falls asleep, Fong wears his old uniform and grabs his gun before leaving to hunt Shayut. However, in his absence, the cupboard gets knocked down, and everyone in the house goes downstairs to check it. Mai has also woken up, and she is worried sick after knowing that her children are living with her parents. Meanwhile, Fong stops Shayut in the middle of the road. He slams the guy's head before dragging him out of the car and pouring down whiskey all over him. He then proceeds to burn Shayut alive. Back at home, the siblings start hearing more and more sounds coming from the hole, and they also find out that Juan can hear those sounds too. One by one, they both look through it to find out that they had an elder sister who died in that very room while their father was asleep on the couch. Juan says that their elder sister wasn't normal, and she died due to the negligence of their drunk father. In the middle of all of this, Putt starts coughing up more blood, and instead of taking him to the hospital, Juan wants him to drink more milk. Pim is trying to stop her when Mai shows up outside the house and finds her dead cat on the doorstep. She goes inside and stops her mother from harassing her children. She wants to take them back to her own home, but Fong gets there with a gun in his hand. He doesn't want his daughter to get out of his life. This is when Pim points out that Putt got sick after drinking the milk that Juan gave him. Pim and Mai think that there was something in that milk, and when Pim tries to check it, Juan stops her, and suddenly the jug gets flown away and breaks. This is when Mai puts two and two together and realizes that Juan is the one who murdered her eldest daughter, because Juan used to give her milk too. Juan also tried to take Putt's life by the same process, but failed. After hearing this, Juan confesses that she did all that because both of those children were not normal and they didn't deserve to live. She's obviously senile, so Mai just grabs her children and gets out of that house. She goes back to her own place where she tells her children about their father, who died on the same day his eldest daughter died. Fong said that Crit committed suicide, but Mai thinks that Fong killed Crit because he was angry. Mai also saw the hole, but she says that she never looked through it. That night, Juan wakes up after hearing loud noises and goes downstairs. Fong tries to follow her, but he gets a call from his colleague, who says that Fong is now the prime suspect in Shayut's death. Fong is distressed by this call, but he goes down to check on his wife, who's screaming after seeing her dead granddaughter. When Fong grabs Juan, he sees that she drank rat poison and she is having fits. Suddenly, she turns into Shayut, who tries to grab Fong, but Fong just shoots him. It turns out that he just shot his wife, who who dies on the floor. After seeing this, Fong loses all hope and takes his own life. The film ends with making a creepy revelation that Mai actually looked through the hole once. That's when she saw how she shot down Crit that day, because she was angry at him for being careless.